Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Monday morning. I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's all right. I hope the weekend treated you well. Whatever you're up to this weekend, I hope it treated you well. And I hope the week treats you even better. In this video, we're going to be talking about, obviously, the game that happened yesterday afternoon, the Everton game. And some very, very, very worrying takeaways from that game. We have chats about Garnacho. We have updates on Marcus Rashford. There's a few other ones that I wanted to talk about as well. Facundo Buonanotte, Davide Fratesi, just so much to get through today. So we're gonna fly through each topic. So let's jump in. And obviously, let's start with the game yesterday. All right, look, for the people that said Ange needs to change his system, you saw what happened. It was bad. I really hated that he changed the system. Sorry, morning Spurs, Sonia, don't know football, Dragon, Bazza. No, Josh, Luke, all of you, good morning, and morning Jazz, of course. He changed the system. It didn't work, and I was so excited. I saw Archie Gray, and I saw Davies and Dragovic, and I was like, oh, Archie's going to be playing in the midfield. Oh, get in. Yeah, I was really happy. And then I see this back three nonsense, and I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And we looked weak in the midfield because there was no one playing in there, basically. I didn't get it. It was the wrong decision. We shouldn't have changed the system. I mean, ironically, we changed back to our previous system and then won 2-0 from there. So taking nothing from that. Don't jump down my throat on that one, all right? But it wasn't good. Let's I mean, looking at it, Dragovic had a stinker. I'm not going to put anything on Ben because obviously it's Ben's first game back in 6 weeks. I thought Pape was poor again today. Yesterday, sorry. And look, some of it might be down to fatigue, but you can't put it all down to fatigue. I thought Kulu was non-existent in the first half. Second half looked a lot better. Sonny a striker. You know, what would you expect? Madison Madison was central, but also left. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I don't want to see Madison on the left wing. I've always said that I don't want to see him there. I didn't want to see Porro on the right wing, and we kind of saw Porro on the right wing, and it wasn't very good. So there was that. But let's talk about some good stuff. I guess from that game is Jed Spence looked very solid. I saw a lot of people going, he didn't put a foot wrong, and I was like, okay, he definitely did. Because he's a defender. We've conceded 3, and I was watching it, and a lot of their good attacks were actually coming down that side as well. But going forward, looked really, really solid, really good. Looked like probably our most dangerous threat. Lucas Bergvall, again, another solid showing. Another solid showing from Lucas Bergvall. He's going to be a rock star. That through ball that he played, regardless of the result, the through ball that he played, it was like the first time, and it was just genuinely the perfect weighted pass, and it traveled about 30 or 40 yards straight to Kulu in stride. So yeah, no, really solid from him as well. Again, I think Archie Gray was, when you're asking Archie Gray to play about 4 different positions, all of which are not his strongest or his most natural, if he gives you a solid performance, you take it and run with it. And obviously Mikey Moore's assist for Richarlison goal, sublime. By the way, I want to see Mikey Moore start on Thursday. I want to see him start against Hoffenheim on Thursday. I don't know what you guys think, but give me Mikey Moore minutes now. So yeah, overall, I thought Ange failed yesterday. And look, I'm Ange in. I'm an Ange supporter, but you call out what is deserving of being called out. The effort level was pathetic. The team system and selection choice absolutely got it all wrong. And there's a lot of players who, hey, they go hiding when things get a little bit difficult. Now, one thing I would say is it wasn't all of the away fans, and I'll be clear about this. It wasn't all the away fans, but there is a small minority of away fans who were voicing a unacceptable level of displeasure towards Son and towards some of our players. Unacceptable. You can be unhappy about the result. Hell, you can boo. Not a problem. You're more than welcome to. You're more than entitled to. But then sending vile abuse basically to these players, regardless of result, regardless of what happened, is never acceptable. And it was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And like I said, if you watch it from the crowd angle, it looks like they're all doing it. But if you actually watch it from the behind the players towards the fans, you see a lot of fans clapping. You can see a lot of fans being just normal and not abusive. So, look, regardless, not acceptable result, but equally not as acceptable the abuse. So, hopefully that gets stamped out ASAP. But overall, not good enough yesterday. Not good enough yesterday. And Thursday's a really, really interesting game. You know, we are dealing with a Hoffenheim team who, if I just look at the Bundesliga table, they're 15th. Oh, it's 15th versus 15th. Look, I mean, 4 wins, 5 draws, 9 losses from their 18. They've scored 23, conceded 35. This is a team that concedes 2 a game. That, for me, is a really, really pivotal game. Really pivotal game. But we will do the preview for that game tomorrow. We're not doing it today. I'm not talking about it today. It's really irrelevant for me. I want to bring in some stats, though, because I saw a lot of people going, sell Romero, sell him. We've played 12 matches with Romero with a 50% win percentage. We've played 7 without him, and our win percentage is 14.3. So we're talking basically a 36% change, which is ridiculous. We concede with him 1.17 goals a game. Without him, it's over double that at 2.43. So we concede just over 1, and with him, so that's with him, and without him, we concede 2.5 goals a game, basically. We've only won 1 of our 7 when he's not played, you know, and that's just crazy for me. That's absolutely crazy. So, and that's in the Premier League, by the way. That's not across all competitions. It's just the Premier League. Let's be real. Anyone that's like, sell Romero, sell him, sell that, I'm going to say is, lad, careful what you wish for is all I'm going to say. But yeah, overall, not great. But I'm not going to harp on that game too much because I think it happened yesterday. We've all probably thrown our toys at the pram in displeasure. We're going to move on, though. We're going to move on. I'm unhappy about it still, but we have to move on. The world doesn't stop. The world doesn't stop. Let's talk about some transfer news. So, I mean, look, I'm going to start from what happened yesterday onwards. Nicola Shearer saying Romero planning a new bid to sign Davide Fratesi in the last days of January. Romero will offer to enter an expensive loan with an obligation to buy upon reaching certain conditions. Again, it's a hard time of month. It's a hard time of the year to buy players. It's really difficult. Cash-strapped Roma making or trying to make moves at least. Cash-strapped Juventus are making moves. I think Napoli are signing Danilo from them. I'm going to be coming to Garnacho as well because obviously that is a player that Napoli are heavily linked to. So even though the Serie A is a league where money doesn't flow very well, they're still active and making moves. Spurs, though, 20th of January, we signed 1 player and it was a keeper. We are fed so much crap, aren't we? But that was on Davide Fratesi. It's not someone that I truly want, but regardless, can he stay fit? If he can stay fit, we'll have him. Ekrem Kanor moving on with the Buonanotte news saying that Tottenham continues its pursuit of the talented Argentine midfielder Facundo Buonanotte. I literally tweeted back saying, we love a pursuit, we love a chase. Then when it comes to completing the chase, we run the other way. Buonanotte is a good player. He is obviously Prem proven. He's on loan from Brighton to Leicester. Just like, you know what I mean? It's, we need some defenders. We just need some bloody defenders. Because I genuinely think a lot of our issues, I don't think it's midfield and attack. I think it's just the sheer crap that we try and play out the back with when it comes to our defenders. Like I said, Romero is, for me, our best player. Romero's ability to play out from the back is ridiculous. Not only that, but his ability to play through the lines, which cuts out presses, is also ridiculous. With him, we're a good team. Without him, we're not a very good team. Put 2 and 2 together there, right? But yeah, on Buonanotte, he is a good player. He is talented. I do like him. Brighton are going to want crazy money for him, so it's not going to be happening. It's simple as that. Moving on, another one from Eric Canor, it's exclusive, saying that Manchester City and Arsenal clearly covet the same type of player, but if they want to land Andrea Cambiasso, they'll have to pay at least 55 million euros. So it's close to the deal. I understand that Tottenham and Aston Villa are also monitoring the developments, but the player's current club, Juventus, have received no official communications from any aforementioned at this stage. Spurs spending 55 million euros or 50 million pounds on Cambiasso. Come on now. Come on now. Let's be real. If they're doing that, I've got blonde hair, and that says Defoe. It's not happening. It really isn't happening. You know what I mean? Marshall, mate, how are you, mate? I've missed loads of comments. I think you're more all talking about one-on-one with each other, aren't you? You're all talking one-on-one with each other. Yeah, no, Cambiasso is just not happening. 55 million euros, 50 million pounds. It's just not happening. It's just flat out not happening, you know? And that's where we get our name thrown in there to drive more and more engagement for those players. So, yeah, the quicker we forget about that, the better. And let's talk about another ridiculously expensive player in Alejandro Garnacho, the Manchester United winger. I'm just going to breathe. All right? Because it's not happening, okay? The key thing there is not happening. Spurs have been heavily linked to Alejandro Garnacho over the last few days. Obviously, still linked with Marcus Rashford, but let's just get through the Garnacho news first. But anyway, we linked heavily into Garnacho, but Corriere dello Sport have said that Alejandro Garnacho has spoken with Antonio Conte on the phone and an agreement is near. Giovanni Manna will meet with Manchester United's management by Wednesday at the latest. So we might have a bit of an update on the Garnacho flavoured news, really, probably in the next 48 hours, maybe 72 hours. I like Garnacho. I do. I think there's a player there. He works hard defensively when he's engaged. He's talented, good dribbler. He's young, so he's going to get even better. But Manchester United want about 70 million for him, 60, 70 million. And again, this is the key. The key situation for me is any move like that is a summer move in Spurs' eyes, right? Most teams, it's summer moves as well. But also, Spurs aren't spending 70 million pounds on a player. It took them about 6 weeks to understand if they wanted to make. Oh no, it wasn't 6 weeks. It was like 3 months to see if they wanted to spend that money on Dominic Solanke. So it's not going to happen within 3 weeks for January for Manchester United. It's just not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. Garnacho isn't that talented. I think he's decent. And he's still very young. I think we all look at Diallo and kind of go, "Oh, look how good Diallo is." And it's like, well, that was what Garnacho was really a little while back. I just think it's Man United at the moment. Things aren't going well. And ironically, when things haven't gone well in the previous, there's always been a youngster that sort of comes through and steps up, like Kobe Mainoo last season, Marcus Rashford before him, Garnacho before Mainoo. But yeah, no, I'm not blown away by this one. It's just not something I used to do. I used to think players would want to come to Spurs, not anymore. I wouldn't. Money talks, me, mate. Money talks. You know, money talks. Do you know what? Let's talk about Tomori. I saw this news, and look, there are English clubs that have been linked to Fikayo Tomori. Apparently, West Ham had a deal that collapsed for him. That was news 4 days ago that I must have missed, apparently. But Juventus have taken a decisive action to transfer Fikayo Tomori from Milan. The club are preparing a formal offer of around 20 to 25 million euros. However, Conceição's arrival to Milan made this transfer even more difficult. The new coach wants Tomori to stay in the team and play an important role in the tactical setup. Look, I really like Tomori, and I've been really on the idea where he suits us. He suits what we want. He's homegrown. He's Prem proven. He can play out from the back. He's athletic enough. All these things. But in simple case of this, it's now we've got, just to give you exactly, it is Saturday of next week. So not this Saturday, it's the Saturday following. That is the 1st of February. That will be the market has closed, okay? You get into a period where it's going to start to get off. Right, let me quickly finish this off because I've just seen some really, really annoying news. You get to a point where teams aren't going to want to do business with you because it's getting so late, they won't have time to replace them. All right? Right. Let's talk about the bad news. David Ornstein, Manchester United are in talks with Lecce over a potential deal for Patrick Dorgu. No agreement, but dialogue progressing. Just grow up. You know what I mean? Manchester United, FFP issues. They need to sell before they buy. Progressing in deal for Patrick Dorgu. Yeah, Johan Lang is sitting. Do you know what? Johan Lang, I think, has the nicest job in the world. You do about 3 to 4 weeks of work every year. You sign one player and a bunch of teams, and you're chilling. I mean, he's chilled this month. I got Kinski. I'm done. I'll see you boys in a few weeks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United have been working on Patrick Dorgu deal as exclusively revealed 2 weeks ago. He's still one of the main names on the list. Can we be on that list? Can we be going for Patrick Dorgu? It's someone that we got linked to ages ago. It could have been a deal that we could have gotten done ages ago as well, by the way. Yet we're going to let Man United steal a target for our left back. You know, bear in mind, left back, we don't have one. Well, we have Regulon, so we don't have one, obviously. We don't have one. We don't have centre backs. I mean, Dragic had to go off injured at half time against Everton, regardless of him playing well or not. He had to go off injured because of the gash that he had on his eye, which you've got to be wary. You know, it's a head injury. You have to be a bit aware of these things. Ben Davies for me. We do have left back. It's Ben Davies who plays centre back at the moment. It's like, lads, you're killing me. You're killing me here. Can we just get a defender? Can we get a defender? Just one. I'm not asking for 7. I just want one. Because I feel like one would just help us. You know? Mental, innit? It's mental. Everyone's on United's list. It's not news. Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, but if they're progressing the deal, you know what I mean? What? Kill me. Just kill me when it comes to these transfers. They're killing me. Who ban him? Can you remove? What are they doing? Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, look. Let's put a timeout in there. All right. Come on. Lang was the worst point. Bring back Fabio. I thought Lecce won't sell this till the summer. Yeah, no, but doesn't mean that Man United will get him this window. But you can get a deal completed and agreed, and he can go back to Lecce on loan for 6 months. That's what they truly want. And the thing is, Spurs could do that and go, but he's going to count towards our summer moves. Not a problem. Not a problem. I think we'd all agree, not a problem, because then it goes, but he is a summer transfer in theory. He'll be here in the summer. Not a problem. We all agree. Can we get another defender this window, though? For now, we'd all agree. But Johan Lang is like, he's kicking his feet up and just going, Kinski was a good deal. I did that in like 5 days, by the way. Huh, this guy. So good. Johan, are you going to sign anyone else? No. Why would I? I've done my job. I signed the one player. I'm done. He's there. I'm going to go on holiday for a few weeks. See ya. Obviously, he's not. And look, I expect them to be working on deals and things like that. And Ange's the issue is, and the other issue I think we have as Spurs fans is we get zero dialogue from higher ups or anything like that. You know, when Edu was at Arsenal, Edu would talk. You know, when Petr Cech was at Chelsea, they would talk. Higher ups. Ours go radio silent and then they go, well, the manager has to talk. The manager has to talk. You know, it's and this isn't he's back in Ange. It's not that. Conte called it out. Like, why is it that I always have to talk when things aren't going right? Why is it higher ups don't talk? You know, Patrick Dorgu, like, come on, it's someone that we link to so much, and we're not in there. Right, let's talk about Ryan Cherki. Look, so Ryan Cherki, Lyon player. He has a verbal agreement with Lyon for a January exit at available of 22.5 million euros, so 20 million pounds. It's a verbal pact. There's no release clause, but it's a verbal pact. There are several clubs keen on Cherki. The amount of people going, Spurs have got to be on that. Like rival clubs going, Spurs have got to be on that. Cherki is, there's talk about, there's attitude issues and things like that on the other, and I totally get that. He's a guy that gets you off your seat. He's creative. He's a dribbler. He's direct. A proper like old school attacker in that regard. Players that I think at times we do not have enough of at Spurs. 20 million pounds as well. You know what I mean? Painful. Hey Donna, singing course mate. How are you? Incredibly talented Cherki, but he's a bit of a trabbed. Oh, the streets never forget Adele. They don't ever forget Adele. But anyway, there is. So I'm just seeing more and more stuff about. As revealed 2 days ago, Lecce turned down first of Man United's 30 million euros bid for Patrick Dorgu. How much do they want? Christ. Don't know, but however much they want, that's mental. And yeah, let's finish off a little bit of Marcus Rashford flavoured news. I've seen us hit a high in Champions League final and second place in a relegation battle. There you go. Try and keep your stress down, Donna. There you go. Marcus Rashford is obviously we linked with Marcus Rashford. He is going to be moving on from Man United. Amram evidently just does not want him there at the club. Obviously, Milan were the team that were most linked with Marcus Rashford, but they're actually going to be getting Carl Walker. That looks like it's going to be a deal completed this week. They have obviously, not Brexit rules due to transfers of how many English players they can get and things like that. Hi, sometimes need to turn off the noises. It drives you mad. Thank you for your stream. That's all right, Cozy, mate. Hope you're all right. And he will expect to be in the England team. We'll have to see. Jesus Christ, Gamecock, mate. But look, no, so anyway, Marcus Rashford, linked with leaving. There was talk of Saudi, Milan, West Ham were linked for a little while. But I think really a lot of those deals are sort of falling apart or drifting away due to other factors. But it looks Dortmund might be the move for Marcus Rashford. And they are heavily linked with Marcus Rashford. Bild have said that they lead the race to sign Marcus Rashford as well. I mean, obviously, Man United and Dortmund have that relationship due to the Sancho loan, where Sancho's on similar money to Marcus Rashford. He was on about 350k a week. Dortmund obviously can't afford that. So how do you get that deal in place? They have that relationship. It's a deal that they can actually make things work and so forth. But I may not be the biggest Marcus Rashford wanting of people. I don't know how you would want to sum that up. I may not be his biggest fan when it comes to signing for Tottenham. And this goes, by the way, for most transfers. I don't agree with every player that we've ever bought. I don't. There's so many that I've gone, why are we doing that? But I also have an attitude of you try and give the manager what he wants. You try and give him his best, most wanted options on the transfer market. Because at the end of the day, he's the guy that does the job. You give him you give him the tools that he thinks he needs to succeed. Now, you don't always get your number one or number two option because things get in the way and deals happen. But also, we get fed that too often. If we sign 5 players, one will be like a 1 or 2 option. The rest are like the 6th or 7th option because, we tried, which we don't ever try hard enough. Let's be real, because we're too tight. If Rashford is the guy that he wants, by all means, go and get Rashford, right? Now, I wouldn't want this to be you go and sign Rashford for 40 million and you have to pay big wages. a loan, 6 months, option that could turn into an obligation if certain factors are met, I could get on board with that. I mean, Daniel Levy would love Marcus Rashford because of the fact that you can market Marcus Rashford and make loads of money on him. He'd love that. It's what the Glazers love about their Man United players. They make them into brands, and then they can make loads of money off of their brands for the football club. And Daniel Levy loves that. He loves brands because it drives revenue. Marcus Rashford is that. He is a brand. He's a massive brand. Marcus Rashford is bigger than a lot of football clubs. That's how big that brand is. So you could absolutely see that. No one will sign Scott Core. How good were Kansas, Andy? They were good. They were good. And I might be a Patriots fan. All right. But let's go Bills, is all I'm going to say. Let's go Bills. But look how good the Commanders were. That was the real one. What do I think the next steps are going to be? The next steps are going to be, you've got a game on Thursday. You're not going to sign anyone who can be activated and play Thursday. You just want to bring up Spurs' fixtures to give me an aid. Sunday, the 26th of January, Leicester City at home. Have someone signed who can play in that game. That should be at least one. That should be the next step. January's a hard time month to buy. Totally get it. Totally get it. I don't, because it's not always completely true. But it can be. You've had 3 weeks. By that Leicester game would have basically been 4 weeks and you've signed one player. That's unacceptable. That is flat out embarrassing. Now, I got last January because it was Johan Lang's first January. He hadn't had that sort of run into that month where he could sign players, right? He needed that. He needed time. Hence why summer, I said, let's judge him off of the summer forward. His previous January, right? What Werner signed was like the 14th. I can't remember when Dragic signed, but Dragic signed around this time of the month. So you signed 2 players last January, which was your first January. You didn't have that run into this January. This January, you signed 1 player, and that was over 2 weeks. Well, it's about 2 weeks ago now. So, yeah, he needs to pull his finger out. That's what he does need to do. Hell, even if it's Dorgo, it's something, you know? It's something. Yeah, you got to be careful with like the little ITKs. The little ITKs just if they throw enough at the wall, something will stick, if you know what I mean. Bills year. I hope it's the Bills year, mate. I hope it's the Bills year. Well, I hope it's the Bills year to get them to the Super Bowl. But I want the Commanders to win. Jaden Daniels is a stud, an absolute stud. We need to beat Hoffenheim. We don't need extra games after the group. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. How do you get healthy? Maybe play a little bit less. How do you play a little bit less? Win both your games in the Europa League and you'll go through into the top 8. You should. You should go through into the top 8. And if that's the case, you're then through automatically to the next round. You know? I bet we'll sign Ansu Fati. I hope we don't sign Ansu Fati. He's flopped at Brighton. He flopped there. So, yeah, I hope not. Also, isn't he on like 180 grand a week? I forgot. When we were heavily linked to him, he was on big money. I think it was 180 grand a week or no, he might be on more. Wasn't it like he earns 13 million euros a year or something stupid? Should have said add to the Chamworth game. Well, you're not going to sack someone after a win. Eagles also doing good. Yeah, well, Saquon Barkley is a cheat code, isn't he? And the Ravens yesterday flopped. They should have ran Derrick Henry 30-odd times. You know? Nicholas Cooper said, I watched, you know what? I was actually watching Celtic against, is it Kilmarnock at the weekend? I actually watched a bit of them. They played some nice football. I was enjoying it. It was end to end. Like Kilmarnock did not sit back. They pressed every corner of the pitch. I really enjoyed it. It was open and Celtic probably should have scored about 20, but yeah, Nicholas Kuhn looked very good. We'll lose Hoffenheim. If we draw to Hoffenheim, can we still make the top 8? Well, it depends on the other results, but yeah, I'll say yes off the face of things. Why am I trying to sign him? Don't know. Ange's doing something, but your board needs to back him more. The board, unfortunately, Steampunk, is a collection of people who do the absolute bare minimum when it comes to supporting managers. And that's the issue. You know, they didn't back Conte fully, didn't back Mourinho fully, didn't back AVB. AVB was a weird one. They sold his best player from underneath him and then gave him next to none of his first options. You know, João Moutinho was someone that he truly wanted. William was someone that he truly wanted. They flopped both those deals. Redknapp, when he was in the top sort of fighting the top four, was like, I need some rotational options because, you know, I'm running Bale and Modric and Parker and Lennon into the ground. He wanted Suarez. Who was the other one that he wanted? It was a big one. He wanted Suarez and someone else. I can't remember who it was, but they didn't get them. They gave him Ryan Nelson. No offense, Ryan. You know, it's just typical. No, Ari, no, mate. Definitely not. Definitely not. Still actually Davis comes Spurs, we'll see. Scott Mann will backhand. Scott Mann needs to just get something moving in the higher ups. Nelson and Saha. Luke, thank you. It was Saha that they got, wasn't it? Our Aussies don't leave each other at cold. Big thing is players are tired. Ange's building a winning team, but if he keeps going like this with all injury problems, not Garnacho, he does my Sweden. He thinks he's so good, but he's actually naff. I think he's all right, Dreadlock. I don't think he's naff. He's all right. Yeah, Eden Hazard, that's another one. That was another one. You know, so many times. David Villa, that was a big one, wasn't it? David Villa. You know, what about, you know, Paulo Dybala's and all that? You think of all these bloody players that we linked to, and then you get given the, this deal's a difficult deal. As soon as I hear it's a difficult deal, it's not happening. It's just flat out not happening. You know, I'm pretty sure they're still trying to work on Leandro Damião, aren't they? You know, we'll see, Amin. We'll see. Hey, Tactical Decision, how are you, my friends? Funny thing is, we're getting a player back and then Don gets injured. I don't know, mate. Dybala would have been a disaster. Well, no, he would have been all right under Conte and Mourinho. It's now. It's now, you know. I'm behind, but I had to take a phone call. Apparently, Chris Cowlan also got abused by a fan. Chris is a Spurs YouTuber. Abuse is never okay. Have I mentioned how young the bench was? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure my niece and nephew were on the bench who were 7 years old and 4 years old. I think they were on the bench, weren't they? It's ridiculous. Yeah, that Zaha's available, but I think he's going to the MLS. We'll win the championship under Ange next season. We will be there. Yeah, I don't know really who Chris is, but if he's been abused, it's not okay. Knowing me, knowing you. What position do I prioritize? Defender. Social media connected to identity to stop abuse. Yeah, it does need to stop, mate. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Like I said, if you think a player didn't play well, you can boo them. Booing them is not offensive. Abusing them is a different story. You know? So if you're that person, check yourself in the mirror because that's unacceptable. But look, we'll see how we go. Thanks everyone joining me this morning. I might be back later, depending if Spurs pull their finger out and do some transfers. If not, I'll be back tomorrow. And I will obviously be doing the preview for the Hoffenheim game. The loan roundup is back tomorrow as well. And obviously any transfer news that might come out on top of that. Take care, everyone. Look after yourselves. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Peace.